This is Senior Memories, featuring stories about your history, your community, your family. Join us as we remember.
I had an incredible mother. Her name was Anna Mahramas, and she lived to be 100 years old, and in those 100 years she taught herself 6 languages, and she learned Greek first, and she was born Polish and learned also Slavic, which is very similar to Polish, and Italian and Russian and English, and she was amazing. In her 100 years she had 6 children, and 4 of which were part of the known 4 coins. And they were a well-known group that traveled all over the world, and their gold record was Shangri-la.
Your kisses take me to Shangri-la. Each kiss is magic that makes my little world a Shangri-La.
In 1965, when I was a young lady, I was looking through the TV guide and came upon this Sophia Loren in a beautiful crochet dress. My mom could crochet anything. All she had to do was look at the picture. But unfortunately, as you can see, this picture was quite small. She got the magnifying glass, tried to see the pattern, couldn't get the pattern. So my kid brother said to my mom, "Mom, why don't you send a letter to Christian Dior, who designed the dress?" And little Faith, I says, "Oh, I don't think that Christian Dior would take the time to send a pattern to Mom to make this dress. But if she had the pattern, I know that she could make it." Well, my mom did send a letter to Christian Dior. As you can see, he did answer her letter with a pattern, part of the dress that he had made for Sophia Loren. And I was quite amazed that we would hear from Christian Dior. He was so kind to do that. Well, when we got the pattern, we couldn't find the thread. We went to every yarn place in town trying to find the yarn. It had a lot of body, and none of the stores had quite the same thread. So finally, my mother went a step further and wrote another letter to Christian Dior asking if he could send her the thread. Well, she got a letter from him answering her letter, saying because it is an original that he couldn't possibly send her the thread. So my mom did make the dress for me, and because it didn't have the body that the thread in the dress had, she had to use silk slip underneath the dress so that it wouldn't grow on my body. But she did make the dress, and we were so pleased. And Christian Dior congratulated her and said that he was pleased that she acknowledged the picture in the TV guide, which I thought was very nice. As you can see, this is the finished product of the dress that I saw in the TV guide. And it was not an easy task for me, who doesn't crochet, but for her it was simple. And I think she probably put this together in probably a week. And after the death of my dad, my mom found it comforting to sit down and write all her memories that she remembered from 6 years old as a child up to the death of my dad. And she wrote all these memories down on a long yellow tablet. When she couldn't sleep, she would get up and write. And my brother-in-law said to my mom after he read some of it, he said, "Mom, you ought to have that published." She says, "I didn't write it to write a book, I just wanted it for my children." And when we were at a wedding and we were all dancing, and that kind of inspired my mother with the title, I Saw My Children Dance. And she felt the kids were all so happy and made her happy. She said that if the Lord would have taken her at that moment, she would have felt fulfilled.
Senior memories. Remembering the times of our lives.